Good day, everyone. This is the main instructions of practice 2, comparative analysis. Which are the main aims of this practice? The first is to understand the visions and purposes of education of the 3 educational laws in Spain and in Catalonia. Second, to analyze and identify the pros and cons of each one of these 3 laws and see and analyze the impacts directly in the educational system in Catalonia, obviously at the primary education stage, which is our purpose in this course. And 3, provide new, well-founded points of view to improve the level of primary education in Catalonia. Your points of view, individual and in group. The procedure. Step 1. First, we are going to do individual work. In this individual work, there are 2 main steps. The first one is to read all the articles and audiovisual materials that I have uploaded in our virtual campus and the readings of this document, of the practice 2, obviously. And 2, once you have read all the materials, then take notes about the main dimensions of primary education stage and its links to each one of these laws. You should have to use the suggested grid of the worksheet of practice 2. The main readings are inside the document. First one, of course, is the curriculum of primary education. The second one is the educational law LOMCE. The third one is the educational law LOMLOE. And the fourth one, the educational law in Catalonia. Then, of course, I have provided you a grid, a proposal grid to do this analysis. Option B. You are supposed to read individually all of these documents, but option B suggests that you can divide all these readings between each member of the group, so you can share the reading of these documents. But very important, do not forget that even though you divide these readings only for this practice into all the members of the group, for the final exam you will have to read all the readings, not just one, okay? Second part of the practice, step 2, group work. Once you have finished the individual work, the first draft of the grid with your individual reflections of each one of the laws, then you will have to contrast all your reflections and work with all your team. Which are the steps? First, talk about the main dimensions and aspects found in each one of the laws, using again the grid and dimensions suggested in the practice. Okay? 2. Describe or justify in your group why and how these aspects are crucial for the stage of primary education. Again, continue or keep using the grid. And step 3, write a short critical reflection of all these aspects after the grid. So, first, it is the work inside the grid, and then after the work, a final reflections of the pros and cons and its educational implications, and conclude by writing a general appraisal of it. Remember, this task has to be developed in groups. You can meet with your group face-to-face or virtually. You have a lot of technological tools to do so. Here you have an overview, a big picture of the grid for the analysis. The first column, you'll see the main aspects for analysis. Of course, these aspects are related to the primary education curriculum. That is the reason why it is very important that the first reading you work on is the primary education curriculum. Then the second, third, and fourth columns are about each one of the laws. The first two of the educational laws in Spain, the actual law and the project of the new law, LOMLOE. And then the third column of the laws is the law LEC, the educational law that we actually or currently have in Catalonia. And the last column is specifically for the comparative analysis. Which is then the structure of the final document, of the final worksheet of practice 2. First, please include a cover with title, the subject, all your names, the date, the seminar, etc. Second, description and justification of the main aspects of each law in each dimension. In sum, it is the grid completed. 1 to 2 pages for the grid. 1 to 2. 3. The critical reflection. After the grid, you will have to do this writing for the critical reflection. After the grid, this is half page, max 1 page. And then, bibliography in APA style. Remember, the maximum length is 600 words approximately, 2 to 3 pages maximum for the content analysis. So as you see, the cover should be 1 page, but it doesn't count. It is not the content itself. So the content should be points 2 and 3, okay? So the cover is 1 page, the description and justification or the grid is 1 to 2 pages, and then the critical reflection, another page. And finally, the bibliography, which will be 1 page maximum. And do not forget, the due date is October 28th before midnight through the virtual campus. Hope these instructions are clear for you, and I will be available by email if you need it.